My name is Rosemary Hobbs, and today is July 19th, 2019, and I am interviewing Don Thompson Sr. at the Newkirk Public Library. What motivated you to join the military?
My first indication to going in is, I don't know if you all remember it, during the time I grew up, we had a draft going on it, and when you turned the age of 17 or 18, you got a draft notice. And once you did, you could be called anytime, day or night, to report. At that point in time, I'm still in school. I want to finish school. So I decided, and me and my twin brother, we decided to go down to the Army Reserve, which was a supply depot during that period of time, to enlist. So I enlisted. My first enlistment was December of 1954. But that kept me out of the draft, because in order to get a hold of me, they would have to make the whole unit go. That wasn't happening. Today it is. The government finally woke up to the fact that, why do we have these people here and they're being trained and we're not using them? Now you know. Because at that time it wasn't. And at the time I was growing up, jobs were scarce. And in this area, it was primarily farming. I don't have any farming experience. I'm not saying that I didn't work on the farm, but I don't have it. My course of reaction is, I want a job. Newkirk couldn't provide it. So when I got out of school, in July of 55, June of 55, I joined the military, United States Air Force. And I've had a good career. Some of the assignments that I had, I didn't really care for. But when you're in the military, you don't dictate the terms. They do. If they tell you they want you to over in someplace else, that's where you're going. Don't make no difference. So that's what motivated me to, hey, get out of the draft. Go, because in the Army there's a lot of different jobs. I'm not saying the Army isn't good, but that wasn't what I wanted to do when I retired. So I chose Air Force. Okay.
Tell me a little about your time in basic training.
Basic training was probably a rude awakening. Okay? Because the first thing you miss is freedom to do what you want to do. They're going to tell you what to do. You have to do what they want. So it's a rude awakening just to find out, well, what's all going on. I wasn't stupid to the point that I didn't already know what was going on, because I did have prior service. And prior service, a lot of the instructors down there got you to do everything else. You were a leader of somebody else because you already knew some of the facts, and they didn't have to spend all the time doing it. At least, the hardest thing I got was to have a hard time is separating civilian life to military life. That was the hardest part. Because when you're free, 17, wild as I was, hey, I didn't want to be tied down doing anything. Hey, In the military, forget about that. Because they're going to change your attitude real quick. But they want you to learn to follow orders. But and you don't question them. Just do it. That's the extent of my basic training. And I did survive.
Okay, what was your primary job after training?
After training, I went into aircraft maintenance, jet aircraft maintenance, 43191. My primary, when I first went in, was 43131, which is the lowest level you can get. The highest level you can get is a 91, which is max, is a certification status. So I spent, I want to say, probably 8 to 9 years doing the work. And after that time, I fell in the category of being a supervisor of some type. Whatever your job was, you had people under you, or people coming in that didn't know the job. It was my responsibility to teach them the job. And it escalated from there. When you I spent probably 7 to 8 years in that status. Then when I became a master sergeant, then I became the person that was giving the orders, not doing the work. But it was on my responsibility to make sure the work was done and the schedule was met. So when I retired as a senior master sergeant. And at the end of it, I was over what we call the AMU, Aircraft Maintenance Unit. We had 26 airplanes. I was responsible for all the pilots, all the ground equipment that went with the airplane, and all of my people, and all the specialists. So when it came time to make the decisions, it was on my shoulders. A lot of officers now, they like to tell you, give you the orders. But when it comes to maintenance, they have no idea what maintenance happens. So I told the pilot, no, you don't dictate to me. I'm going to dictate to you. Because in a combat area, it is the individual that's responsible for is the person that's working on the flight line, and that's me. The supervisor that's over, when I'm told, hey, we got to get out of here, well, that's come from operation. Operation tells you where you got to go. It's up to me to make sure everything happens. So that's basically what happens.
Okay. Were you deployed? If so, where and for what?
Yeah, I've been deployed 3 times. First one was from Arizona to Alaska. Shimmy, Alaska, which was the Aleutian chain, was the next to last island out on that chain. And a remote site. The family couldn't go with you. So we spent the year up there taking care of all the different type of airplanes. And when I say different airplanes, I'm talking about just regular airplane, which is a prop airplane, and the jet airplanes, recips, the larger ones that I take care of, KC-135s, 124s, all cargo airplanes, and troop movement. So that was quite an experience. My worst part was adapting to the weather, because I went in there in December. I'm at Arizona, and it's 70 degrees. I get up in Alaska, it is 30 degrees. Now, if you don't think that was quite an adjustment, all right, and the whole time I was on that island, I know about a month that it didn't snow. I seen more snow that year than I have in all my life. Growing up in this area, they had a lot of snow, but nothing like they had up there. All right. I got used to it. All right. Adjusted to the system. All right. I got to meet a lot of different people. All right. And I seen a lot of people coming in and going before I got ready to leave. After a year, they sent me to Clovis, New Mexico. Cold place to hot place. You had to learn how to adjust to the temperature.